Here we go for the second part of this problem. So this is a chip method. In this case, we've got two chips that are marked treatment and two chips are marked control. Each person selects one chip at random without replacement. We're going to take it in the same order as the previous problem, but it doesn't really matter, but you kind of have to pick an order of some sort. So I'm going to go man 1, man 2, and then woman 1, woman 2, just like the previous side. So man 1 has there are two chips that are treatment out of 4 chips that he chooses from. So he's got a 2 in 4 probability of getting into the treatment group. And then one of those chips is now out because there's no replacement. So man 2 steps up and he chooses, and he's got a 1 in 3 probability. There would only be one chip left that is in the treatment group. So he's got a 1 in 3 probability. The only two chips that are left are both control, so woman 1 and woman 2, there's no real probability there. They're going to get those. So 2/4 or 1/2 times 1/3 is 1/6. So there's a 1 in 6 probability that A happens. All right, arrangement B. This one's a little different. Man 1 picks first, so he still has a 2 in 4 probability of getting into the treatment group. Man 2 chooses second, but he doesn't get into the treatment group. He gets into the control group, and the probability of that happening is 2 out of 3, because 2 of the chips are control and 3 are still available after man 1 selects his. Now, the treatment group hasn't been filled yet, so we have to do one more draw. Woman 1, at this point, one treatment and one control chip have both been pulled out, so there's a 1 in 2 probability that woman 1 gets the treatment. So we've got 2 out of 4, or 1/2, times 2/3 times 1/2, which is going to cancel those guys, and we get 1/2 times 1/3, which is 1/6 again. It's the same value. Now at this point I'm looking at this and I'm going, I got a denominator of 6 and I've got 6 spaces here. I bet they're all 1/6. But let's move on and check it out. So man 1 always has the same probability. He's got 2 out of 4 every time he picks because he always picks first. Man 2, just like arrangement B, gets into the control group. There's a 2 out of 3 probability that he gets into the control group because 2 of the 3 chips that are left are control chips. And then woman 1 draws hers, and there's a control and a treatment chip left, so she has a 1 in 2 probability getting put into the control group. So just like the last one, I've got 2/4 times 2/3 times 1/2, and that equals 1/2 times 1/3, which is 1/6. Okay. Now, arrangement D. Man 1 selects first. He's got a 2 out of 4 probability of getting into the control group, which he does. Now, one of the control chips is gone. Man 2 selects, and what he has is 1 out of 3 chips that are control that are left for him to select. So he selects a control chip. At that point, the treatment group is wide open and the last 2 chips go to the 2 women, and so we have a 1/2 or 2/4 times 1/3, which is, guess what, 1/6. Okay. Now at this point I think the calculations are all going to be the same. Man 1, 2 out of 4. Man 2, he's pulling one of the control chips out, so treatment has 2 chips left out of 3 available. And woman 1 then has to draw. She's got a 50-50 chance, or a 1 in 2 chance of getting either the control or the treatment. And then woman 2 just gets the last chip. So this is going to be, yet again, 2/4 or 1/2 times 2/3 times 1/2. Those guys cancel, and I get 1/6. And that basically forces the last one to be 1/6. Because your numerators have to add up to 6, your denominators will all have to be the same at that point. If you're unsure, 2/4 So he takes out one of the control groups, man 1 does. So there's 2 treatments, and out of 3 chips left, man 2 gets a treatment, and then woman 1 draws. She has a 1 in 2 probability being put in the treatment, and we have the same 3 fractions, so 1 in 6. Okay. For the chip method, what is the probability that man 1 and man 2 are assigned to the same group? Well, man 1 and man 2, man 1 and man 2, that seems like that's 2 out of 6, or 1/3.